Hey guys, I'm Matt Lighty, and there is a second amendment to the patch notes and a second update section. This is update 2, so we're on patch notes, well, I guess B. It was 3.26 patch notes, this was A, now we're at B. And B is large in a way, minor change to the Elementalist. I would say almost unimportant. It's still really good and like solid, better than overall. There's a couple visualizations of it on the Reddit currently, and then a divination card was disabled. That doesn't fucking matter. And the new one now gives Vivid Life Force, doesn't matter. The Scarab changes, I would say overall they're buffs. There's a couple nerfs, but for the most part they're buffs, the Scarabs. Like it was just underperforming Scarabs were basically buffed. Some of them were pretty atrociously buffed, but the only one that really seemed like it was nerfed big time was Ambush Scarab, going from 5 to 3, which is fair. That's basically it. I mean, okay, yeah, the little Scarab, the Breach Scarab of Snares, I guess, was nerfed. Most every the Scarab though I saw was buffed. The biggest part I would say of this patch is the unique changes. This is the patch B has just a ton of unique changes. None of these unique changes are like mind-blowing, where it's like, ooh, when I drop this, I'm gonna reroll. Just gonna say that straight up. Even in solo self-fun, if I see any of these uniques, I'm not stopping what I'm doing. Although there are some uniques, a very small percentage of these uniques, were literally doubled in value. Okay, so first off, Actum. Eat my ass. It's still terrible. Even if it gains more crit, it could say you always crit, and it would probably still be unusable because it says you can't have intelligence. Not good enough. The Admiral has more ES, more ailment. Sure. Allelopathy. Like, a lot of them are like things like this where affected by a dot and they're kind of bringing them more in line. So 22s became 25s, that sort of thing. Same with Replica. Brain Rattler, more flat. They just gave it a bunch more flat. Still not usable. Most of these are going to be in that, thing. Chimeria's better, more scaling. Still unusable, I'd say. Duressos gives 2% attack damage leached. Previously it was only physical attack damage. This change is like kind of nice, I would say. It just, instead of being fizz, it's just all attack damage. I don't know if I'm still using Duressos. Duressos saw some usage, I would say, in Settlers with Yinda's Belt, because that converted a percentage of evasion armor off your body into ward, and it has a ton. So there's that. Harbinger Staves, slight buff. The divinity buff from Garb is buffed. Garb itself is just better. It was already good, and it's already going to be very, very expensive, probably because of being used on Mercenaries and Animate Guardians, so kind of funny that they buffed it. The Grace of the Goddess Wand, the Maven Wand, used to be 10 to 30, now it's 10 to 50. Is it enough to make it useful? It's okay at best. It's still not really good. Facebreakers returned to its former glory of 1,000. Still not playing Facebreakers because it just isn't good enough, in my opinion, to be playable. One of the biggest bummers of Facebreakers is your weapon range is like kind of shit. But yeah, I don't think it's good enough still. Both the hands from Breach were buffed, slightly scaling. Calm's Spirit Regen was buffed by technically 33%. Still okay, but I'm not going to be drooling over it. Kintsugi, yeah, again, okay. Slight numerical change. Mark of the Doubting Knight, not good enough. Nulls went from 2 to 1 from the scaling. Still, okay, I still won't be using it. Neuro's got like 30% more flat and a little bit more chill scaling. Still not going to be using it. Omeokans, it is a buff, but it's just not good enough still to be using it. Most of these uniques just aren't really good enough, because it's like, if you weren't using them then, I don't think it's like a tipping point to use them now, Primordial Chain, if I was using it before because I wanted a lot of golems running around really fast, it's just better, and that's just great. So if you're already using most of these things, fantastic. If not, I'm not going to be using them now, probably. Queen's Decree, you could hypothetically get an extra minion if you roll it, because it rolls 1 to 2. So again, really cool for the first couple days of play. Now we're on to one of the ones that is like almost I'm interested in using. Spore Guard's Chaos Res was increased by like 30%, 40%, and the explosion from Fungal Ground was doubled. If you want a jank way of having melee range triggerable explosions, it's good. It also, obviously, you can anoint it because it's a blight body, so there's added value in that. Does it make it usable? I don't know. It's like was kind of used before. It's definitely, obviously better, but I still don't think it's that great. Shield Shatter from Shatter Shard Unique Shield. What a fucking sentence. The Shield Shatter skill granted by the Shatter Shard Unique Shield. That's a 10 times faster right there. Does more damage overall. The buff grants a larger amount of flat fizz, which was good. Some people used Shatter Shard Unique Shield for the Shield Shatter skill. No, they mostly use it for the flat scaling. But, and that did get buffed, but I just still don't think it's worthwhile. Steel Worm. Nope. Nice try. Soul Taker was already okay-ish, and it just gained 10% increased attack speed, so great. Now we're on to some of the ones where it's like another one like Spore Guard. This is the biggest buff, I would say, of all of the things. Soul Rest went from 20 to 25 on flat Phantom level, and the flat added physical was basically doubled. It was a mediocre build at best before, but it just gained twice as much flat and scaling. So yeah, I could see some Corpse Walker Soul Rest kind of builds being more of a thing now. And then another juicy one is the Void Shot from Void Fletcher, which Void Fletcher dominated for like a fucking patch. Just went up by 4x, so it now deals 100% more AoE, previously 25%. Is it good enough to use a Void Fletcher? Probably, maybe, but probably not still. It's hard to beat a rare. I have no problem with uniques not being better than rares, unless they do something hyper unique. And if it's just doing damage isn't special, right? So like a rare should be better. Cool. Warrior's Legacy. This was changed to half the distance between you and the Echo Strike. I think this change was literally made because that's how this worked for the new Berserker node, and they wanted to bring the ring in line. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Wings of Fate, Sanctum Staff, just has 50% more crit, still basically usable. Wings of Entropy, this is a funny one, doubled its damage for both scaling, right? So it went from 200 to 400 top end. Is it usable still? I mean, you're just never scaling Fire and Chaos in any really great way. It was used previously for like Bringer of Rain, Dual Strike kind of tank builds like way back when Net Zero was added. But I just don't. It's a lot of flat, maybe like really early on, but it's pretty fucking jank. Replica, also pretty fucking jank. Zergil's Crank, it's like a leveling staff, kind of whatever. The Roa variants of Uriel's Fostering, which is the summons you get from the body armor. They have a 100% chance to maim, was previously 20, and they also give you what is kind of like the avian buff, which was previously a lesser variation, still not really good. The Ursa version now has a 100% chance to inflict bleed and is more flat, and the Snake version has a 100% chance to poison and more flat. I don't really think any of those are worth. But, so from this patch B, the big takeaways I would say is Wings of Entropy has double damage. The Void Shot is 4 times as much AoE damage. Soul Rest could be a real build. Spore Guard has twice as much goodness. And if you're using any of the other uniques that just got buffed and you were going to use them anyway, and you used them before and you're still going to use them, you just gain some more gravy. So all the Soul Taker users, all the Primordial Chain users, those guys are just happier. So overall, all great stuff. Couple Scarab changes, mostly buffs, a couple nerfs, and yeah, a little bit of nerfs to certain things, mostly the one Breach Scarab and the big one being Ambush. This is the biggest, I guess, nerf. But Ambush was fine, so it's fine. Yeah. Alright, that's it. Enjoy. Bye-bye.